Show and go for Friday, February 10th. Jack Taylor Davis with Dee Strange-Gordon, who's got the Silver Slugger over his left shoulder. You got a jersey over your right shoulder. What's the
All-Star
All-Star game?
All-Star game.
Okay,
Yep.
one of your two.
Gold glove. And that's like I wear this bait. You see me wear that bait stuff all the time. That's like a doll that goes with like bait.
How about that? All right. So two-time All-Star, Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, owner of a batting title, Dee Gordon.
And arguably the coolest home run ever hit in the game.
Yeah. So obviously I got to ask you about that because that's like a moment that's just going to live forever. But right before I hit the record button, Taylor was like, I asked, where did you guys meet each other?
Your little cameo, right?
Yeah, I said, okay, so you guys met in Indy, I assume, in 2021. And he was like, well, we knew each other in Indy, but also my mom works for him. Taylor, explain this to me.
No, I mean, me and Dee became close when we were in Indy. We have a lot of, I think like our background thinking is very similar. Just the basis of our lives. We think very similarly. And Dee lives in Florida. I'm from Florida. My parents lived in Florida. My mom was really unhappy at her job, and Dee had some big aspirations. He still does. Like, people see him and see what he's doing on the field. The stuff that he does off the field is just as big, if not bigger. Not only for the community, but for himself and for his family as well. It's really inspiring for a lot of people. If you don't know, you guys can go find articles, and you should. And you should follow. The company is Black Sheep Farms. You should follow their process. So basically, I just said, hey, like, I trust Dee and I obviously trust my mom. Like, hey, Dee, here's somebody that could help you do a lot of things. The funny part is that it started with my dad at the time was working at a company, and he actually logistically could currently help Dee with a project. Nice. Something happened, and like my dad couldn't go see Dee, so my mom went. And they got to talking, and she calls me and she goes, yeah, I think I'm gonna start working for him. So, I was like, that's so sick.
Yeah, man, awesome. It's been a year now. We're in Indy, and I had some stuff going on off the field that I needed to take care of. So I told Taylor, like, yo, I got some stuff I'm finna do off the field, like start, my career is winding down. So I want to start doing some other stuff. He made it seem like easy. He's like, yo, my mom's the best consultant in the state of Florida. And I'm like, bro, you're lying. Ain't no way your mom's the best consultant. I know both my parents. Meet dad. Dad is awesome. And dad tells us the truth. He's just like, my wife would be better suited for this. And man, when I tell you this last year has been amazing. Taylor and his family are my family. We ask about each other's kids all day long. So it's just been awesome how it's working out. Like you said, I got some big aspirations off the field. I can't say much about all of it, but definitely got some big aspirations off the field.
The aspirations, I think like just like the story that I know he's going to ask you about the home run, like, the aspirations aren't just for himself. I think that he's something that a lot of people probably don't know about him is that he wants to uplift his community more than he wants to help himself. And I think that says a lot about you and a lot about your character.
But yeah, man, that's what I want to do. I want to, I'm blessed, to make some money playing baseball. But, I got friends who are I got friends in the game, but like my best friends in the world are still back at home. Yep. So I would love to, further myself as a human, alongside my best friends in the world. And with Taylor's mom helping me.
Makes a lot of sense. Hey, so you guys met in pretty similar situations, right? Taylor, you were kind of bouncing around the AAA levels, right? You were in Norfolk, you were in Iowa. You land in Indy in 2021. Dee, you were in Nashville, Iowa, and Indy all last year, all in 2021. So when you guys and
Cincinnati started the year in Cincinnati.
That's right. He did start.
Yeah, I was with Cincy for spring training. Yep.
So when you guys did link in Indianapolis, like how quickly did you guys hit it off? Are you guys just
I was there 3 weeks. Down? Yeah, I mean, like, it's weird. Like, I'm like a normal human. So, like, if we teammates and stuff, I'm just like, yo, what's up? How everybody doing? I think guys is like thrown off by it a little bit. I'm like, and Taylor was the only one that's like, what's up, bro? Shoot. Let's
You
hang
know, I've
out.
I've
And
always I've always said that like I'm the guy that's willing to ask the questions that others won't. Like I'm willing to go up to
right,
the people. Like, what are you gonna do? Say no? But
right.
he's absolutely right. Everybody in that locker room was like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you kidding me? Like this guy's coming out like what?"
Yeah. He was
It's like,
hanging
no, dude, he's
out.
a normal guy. Like he
The
just so
crazy part
happened to win a
is,
batting title.
yeah, the crazy part is I played against him like 2 days
Yeah.
before.
Yep. Played
Yeah,
against us a couple days
for like
before.
5 days. Yeah.
I actually, and then I played against you the first time I played against D. You were rehabbing something, and I played against you in New Orleans. We were in New Orleans,
Yeah, yep.
and
I
I
was
and I that
rehabbing
was
my thumb.
so. The funny part about that is I would have had long hair at the time, and I looked like a slow pitch softball player playing baseball. I was like a cartoon character. So I just remember getting to second, and D loved me already. He was like laughing. We were talking up the middle after
Yep.
I hit a double or something. You know, it was funny. That's where I remember first seeing him. But yeah, pretty fun couple weeks in
Yeah,
India.
and it's crazy. Now we're like family.
Yep.
So D, we were just
Oh,
talking about your game right before you hopped on, right? And you are, I guess, a throwback game. We talked about it. What you hit 300 last year, right? In Washington, you hit 305.
In the big leagues.
In the big leagues in 22 games, like that's just what you're always going to do. 2015, you hit 333. You got a lifetime batting average right around 290, but you're not going to slug, right? You're not the three true outcome guy. As the game has almost changed, how have you like remained so confident in what you do? And in turn, that's obviously like created a job for you for what, 11 big league seasons?
I'm just good at what I do. Just be the best version of myself. Like that's the only thing I focus on. You know what I'm saying? There's no way like the man inside me can't hit 200 and pop 20 home runs. Like they're like or some in me just can't be like, oh, let's just be okay, just strike it out. Like as a man, I just don't see like I can't do it. That's been half of the problem. Is like, yeah, I'm early in the count. Taylor see me early in the count. I take my chances, but when I get in an account, I'm not going to take the same chance. And that's just part of what's happened with the game. It's more computer driven. You know what I'm saying? So like there's stats like that don't even account for my game. You see what I'm saying? Like there's
Absolutely.
stats like
You
yeah,
you are
like there's
absolutely a discounted player because of the background data.
yeah,
No questions asked.
yeah.
You are somebody that has clearly been hindered by that. And the interesting part to me is like you are what I tell every kid to do. Like you are the best you that you could possibly be, and you trust that.
That's
And
all
you
I can
trust
be.
that process every single time you go out on the field. And look, I guarantee you, if you keep playing for the next 5 years, you'll have a job for the next 10 after that. Because 5 years from now, mark my words, 5 years from now, the DeVarises are coming back because we've talked about this. But the 3-run home run wins games. How do you
Yeah.
hit a 3-run home run? You got to have
Two
two
guys
guys
on
on
base.
base.
Yep.
You know,
Well, my thing is they have the runs created, the weighted runs created, right? So if I get to first base and I still second and I still third, and he hits a ground ball to short and I score because of that, there's no weighted run created for that.
yep. And you get the credit deserved for the stolen base, but you don't get it for the good base running also. Like that's the part where
But
like D's not just fast. Like you're a good base runner. Like don't take that, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So like you're scoring on balls you shouldn't, you're going over on balls you shouldn't. Somebody talked about this last year. I thought it was super interesting. Somebody said like a guy tagging up on a ball that he couldn't would gain him X amount of WAR based on the base running stat. That's a money decision. Like
Yeah.
that's an area where you made money for the team just by being good at what you do. It's crazy. It really is. It's something that is so the most interesting part to me is that these teams look at like the numbers, they look at the data, and they're like, all right, so many guys are so unsuccessful at running that we're just not going to run anymore. Instead of saying, how do we do it better? We've just said, hey, we don't want to do it. And I think that's a crazy aspect to the base running part.
It's like, bro, they like playing right at the stairs. They go up here. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Kid. 2 of them, under 2.
I love that.
One of them is gonna be in we're already like locked in. Like Brooks is gonna marry his daughter, so we're good. We're sold. We're ready to go.
Perfect.
Good. We're good.
Excellent.
But to Taylor's point, like I'm not have no problem with numbers like at all, like or computers or science. But if like I play for an organization, and I'm not gonna say their name, but the organization had this system about hitting. This is their system about hitting, and the system was you got points based off if you swung at a good pitch, fine, right? If you hit it at a right angle or right exit, you could totally. There were games like, okay, so I asked him a question. I was like, well, what does if I bunt and get a base hit and steal second and steal third and score, what does that get me? They told me that does nothing. So what if I bunted a good pitch? It means nothing. The exit velo ain't fast enough. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Cool. I said, so what if I hit a line drive over the shortstop head? Oh, that's only going to get you 1 star. I said, but what if I hit 5 of those and have 3 doubles?
And you score 4 runs and you win 4-3.
Literally said it meant nothing. Yeah. There were games on this in the major leagues. There were games we'll go to the next day, 3 for 4, 3 runs, 2 stolen bases, and get in a hitters meeting, and they put it on the big jumbo on the screen, and I'm dead last
with 3 hits and 4 runs scored.
Like, I'm looking at people being number 1 because they swung 2-3 fastballs, but they were right down the middle.
Yeah.
Well, of course you're going to throw him down the middle to him because he can't hit him.
Right. You actually one of the like the best definitions of what's happening, and I tell everybody this, is you told me this when I asked you about it in Indy, is I asked him, like, are guys trying to change your swing? Like when because he had been at, what did you say, like 4 teams before he got to Indy. So I was like, hey, like if these guys tried to get you to buy into the launch angle, buy into all that. And he said, yeah. And I said, you are the definition of a player that shouldn't have to do that because you don't have to create value. And his answer, which I love, and is there's been too much capital thrown into this. Financial capital, mental capital. These teams have put too much into it to give up at this point.
Yeah.
I have said, and I will die on this pedestal, we are the most talented our game has ever been, but we are not playing the best baseball that we have ever played.
Yes.
And I don't know how far away we are from coming back, but I think that's a really interesting point. Is like, look, he was like, it's going to write itself out. And you're absolutely right. Like at some point, hopefully sooner than later, somebody is going to out baseball you. And I'll tell you this, the Phillies almost did it. The Phillies almost out baseballed you this year. When that happens.
Yeah. If it's two sabermetrically driven teams, like say if it's the Rays or like the Dodgers, like you see what I'm saying? That's the computer playing against each other. So that makes sense. Where you got the Phillies just playing baseball. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
You might win. You may not win. But the Phillies just didn't have enough pieces. They weren't even supposed to be there. You see
and you're starting
saying?
To see it. The Mets are doing it, right? The Mets. The Padres, people are hating this Yu Darvish trend, but dude, go look at the big time starters right now in the game that have succeeded at the age of 37, succeeded at the age of 38. That deal is not scary. He's already gone through the surgery. Like, that's a team that's saying, forget the intangibles. Like, he's got the intangibles. Forget the numbers. Give me the best player. And that's what Steve Cohen did too. That's why it's so fun to me to see what's happening with those teams. And the other thing that I love about that is that those teams are going to compete, are going to have to compete for the next 10 years. Like,
yeah.
I want to go back.
What scares me. Oh,
yeah. No, you go ahead, D.
Oh, what scares me is, what about these 8-year-olds that's been taught that swing this whole time?
Right.
Like, here's the thing. You know, Taylor, you know me, you've been around me. I can dissect the swing from a 4-year-old to a 50-year-old and like that. 8-year-olds need it. The ball's not thrown hard enough, so you actually got to hit the ball high and far. When we're supplying the juice, like from a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, well, you only really got to get your barrel on that to hit it far. You see what I'm saying? So
it's so not individualized. Like, you are a player that you need to exploit what you're good at. Look, one thing that I talk about with Tampa, I believe that Tampa is the best in the world at a lot of things that they do. I think they're the best overall organization. That's just my opinion. Just because I think they develop really well. I think they draft really well. I think they put the pieces together. But one thing that they do is they do two things with every one of their players, whether it's a pitcher or hitter. They exploit what you're good at, and they put you in a situation to succeed.
Yeah.
And those two things put those guys in the right scenario. Now, don't get me wrong. Those guys are also using the background numbers. But the interesting part about Tampa is, like, if you go look at their arms, they're not all flamethrowers throwing fastballs, riding fastballs by you. So the notion that it has to be the perfect Rapsodo TrackMan guy, that's not true, because that team has shown you that we can be very successful without doing that.
So building off that, I want to go back to your 2017 season because they started tracking exit velo and you've got it available on Baseball Reference. You hit 308 with 60 bags. What do you think your average exit velocity was in 2017?
Mid to low 80s?
Yeah, 81. 80. Yeah. I told Taylor that and he was like, whoa, because we're so used to, all right, you've got a 28% strikeout rate and you're hitting 240, but your average exit velo is over 90. So that's encouraging. You hit 310. You had 60 bags.
With 200 hits.
With 200 hits, and here you are, putting up an 81. So there are people now in this modern way of thinking that'll say, oh, that guy doesn't impact the ball enough for me. You need 310 hitters on every team in Major League Baseball.
Which, by the way, the guy that's led the American League in hits the last 2 years has not had 200 hits. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
This is something that I think is super interesting, and we can dive into this because I know Tavares will want to talk about this, but you are a player that maybe more than anybody in baseball, and I told this to Jack before we got on camera, maybe more than anybody in baseball, you could impact a team more because of the non-shifting than possibly anybody else that's not in baseball, that's not currently on a Major League roster. Because of both sides of the ball. You're athletic enough to be a true shortstop. So if I throw you at second base, you're commanding that side of the field. I'm good with that. But the other thing is, you hit a lot of balls on the ground. I'm fine with that. And if they're not shifting you, I know that you can manipulate the baseball good enough to put the ball where they're not. And that's what hitting is.
That's why my exit velo is 81. Because I watch, if there's a slow runner, listen, there's a pitcher in front of me. I played in the National League in 2017. There's a pitcher at first base in front of me with 2 outs. They're holding the pitcher on. Why wouldn't I hook that baseball in the hole? Why would I try to do anything other than that?
Take your hit.
Giancarlo Stanton's hitting second behind me, and now you got to pitch to him because Christian Yelich is behind him. You understanding what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally like, oh, this doesn't make sense for me to go ahead and be the big guy right there. If you go look at all my extra base hits, there's no one in front of me, number one. You can literally go see all of them. Or somebody on like first with 2 outs. where I gotta actually hit it as far as I can. That's how I play baseball. I don't literally. Taylor, you literally witnessed me go out there like, oh, the center fielder gonna play me in left center today. All right, I'm gonna hit this line drive on the right side of second base, and it's a triple, even though it should be a single.
Yeah.
Or like
You
we're
see
playing,
what I'm saying? Like-
or we're playing an indie, and I think something that's it happens in the minor leagues because there's not a lot of data, but in the minor leagues for the listeners that don't really know this, most of the time, every hitter, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you're getting shifted the same as every other same side hitter. So if you're a left-handed hitter and you're Dee Gordon or you are Adam Dunn, you're probably going to get shifted the exact same in the minor leagues just because that's how the system is run.
Yeah.
There were so many at-bats where you would watch him and he would take a 20-pitch at-bat and be fouling really good pitches off the other way just because there was a hit the other way. And he knew, hey, how I can help a major league team? I can get a hit and steal second. And I can let Brian Reynolds hit me in. That's where those teams, and like I said, with the inability to shift, and we can bring this up, like the inability to shift mixed with the fact that you're adding that in an era where in the past 10 years you've basically devalued defense, right? Like unless you're Nolan Arenado at third base, unless you're Andrelton Simmons at shortstop, I don't really care if you play defense. So now you've got subpar defenders, and I'm going to hit more ground balls. Now, like, once again, this is another area where he would affect a team really well because you're adding sinkers into the equation again. We talked about this on the last episode. Sinkers are coming back into the game. Why? You're looking to limit slug.
Guys are not going to hit it. They're not going to hit it.
They're not going to hit it, and you're looking to limit slug. So where do you limit slug? You limit slug on the ground. What do I want? Which has always been an interesting part to like the whole pitching philosophy thing to me is like you're looking to limit slug. That's the only thing that you've been trying to do your whole career. Teams have been seeing limiting slug as swing and miss, which don't get me wrong. You swing and miss, you're not going to slug. I get that. The chances that he's going to swing and miss 3 times in one at bat are not very good. Yeah. So if I want to limit his slug, what do I want? I want him to put the ball on the ground, except if he puts a ball on the ground, he gets to second base. That's a double. He might as well be hitting doubles.
Hold on, question. Hold on. Tay, I got a question. You're a catcher. You throw a sinker down and away to me, right? And I hit this ball over the shortstop head. Is there any way I can hit that ball 102 miles an hour over his head?
No, not a good pitch.
Down and away?
Nor would you want to.
93 mile an hour. He's going to skip over the shortstop head. I'm going to cruise in a second. But, like, that's what – hold on. Is exit below part of bunting?
No.
If I'm bunting 30 mile an hour bunts, what you think my exit below is? Go look at 2017. I think I had about 20 bunt base hits.
I was gonna say, give me a guy that's bunted more than you in a full season.
But I'm thinking, but what about my exit below?
Yeah, right. No doubt. That's
part of the equation. If you take out the bunt hits I have, Jesus, I might be up with these guys. Because I hit the ball hard when I get a chance to.
Yeah.
You've seen me, Taylor? Okay, Taylor, we played against Kansas City. It was in that rain delay. Remember that? And it was run on second. I led off in the 10th inning. And I literally looked at you and Alfred like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and – oh, no, forget that. What about the first 2 days you met me in Indy? What did I do? Did I not go back-to-back homers 2 days in a row?
Yeah, that was tough. It was so funny, too, because, like, that was the last thing that anybody in that locker room expected. So everybody in that locker room was like, oh, my gosh, like, he's serious. He really, like, he's ready.
Well, no, it was just like they told me I was going to come for a little bit, be ready. I was getting ready. They wanted somebody to slug the ball. So that's what I did. I hit 3 homers for you guys in like a week or two. Like,
and you know what? You were the like beneficiary is the wrong word, but like you are the product of a team that I've said this is one of the issues with the way that teams are handling things, in my opinion, of a guy that you were in an organization that they were more willing to pay the guy $500,000 They were willing to pay the minimum guy to go up there and play rather than give you more service time, just because they knew you were going to be gone the next year, and they weren't necessarily trying to win the games.
Yeah.
I don't think they were trying to lose. I don't think they were tanking, but they weren't trying to put the best player in the big leagues. If they were trying to put the best players in the big leagues, you're not sitting in Indy.
Right.
No, that you're right, but like this week, I've gotten phone calls, bro. Are you playing? Like, yeah, I would love to play baseball, but like, do they want me to play baseball? I would want to play baseball. I'm prepared to play baseball. I built the baseball field to play baseball. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to go. Like, I hit live every week. Like, I train. I mean, I ain't gonna stop doing what I'm doing just because things aren't going well. I just literally, I was like, you know what? Let me go learn a new trade for sure. And that's what I did while I got ready to play.
Well, you also, you were on record, like right when we started, you know, Taylor said, hey, make sure you ask Dee about his basketball career. You do believe you're a better basketball player than you are baseball?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because like I just told you guys, I play baseball. Literally, I'm looking at, okay, so that guy right there, that guy right there. Okay, well, if I hook this one, that's how I play baseball. I play baseball technically. I do my job to play baseball.
He does it like a point guard.
And literally, like, I'm playing point guard, playing baseball. I'm not.
Okay, tell the junior college story. Tell the junior college. He was the #1 junior college basketball player in the country.
No. Baseball.
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 And basketball.
Yeah, I didn't play JUCO. I didn't play baseball. I didn't play basketball at JUCO. My dad stopped that quick. So anyway, like, I played that way. I've been taught to always. I was taught to play baseball from the day. I didn't take baseball seriously. I didn't play baseball until I was 16. So I had to learn how to play baseball in the minor leagues. So what the Dodgers instilled to me was, I come up in the bottom of the eighth, down a run and try to tie. They like, no. But we know you could try to go deep. We know you might go deep, but we need you to get on base.
Yep.
Well, I was like, well,
keep trying to win.
Well, what if they don't try? What if they? Well, you want me to try to walk? No, don't walk, because they're not going to walk. They're going to pitch to you because you're small. They think they can knock the bat out of your hand. Oh, that's cool. Boom, base hit. Still second, still third. Tie game over, however it goes. I was like, oh, that's how I got to play baseball. Y'all got to understand, that got me through the minor leagues in 2.5 years.
Yeah. And you started baseball when you were 16, and it got you through the minor leagues in 2.5 years.
2.5 years. I got drafted at 20.
Disgusting.
Got drafted at 20 and was in the big leagues at 23.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah. So then I get to the Dodgers, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm balling. I'm hitting 300. But then the next year, I didn't have a great year. The second year, you get found out. That's everybody in the big league. Yeah. So going into the next year, I was in AAA, and I got called up. And I'm talking about, I'm killing AAA. I'm in like 4 something. I'm killing AAA. They called me up, and once again, not speaking any names, but the coaches, we got a $300 million payroll. I'm like the last guy on the totem pole. Put the ball on the tee yourself and hit, like, type. So I need help, because remember, I just came off an okay year. It wasn't great. So I'm like, I kind of need some help, but I wasn't getting it. I went back to AAA, got sent back down, and I talked to 2 of my coaches who are still with me now. And I like, listen, I'm going to go out here and get 3 hits of this AAA game, but tomorrow we're going to start teaching me to hit the right way, blah, blah, blah. So start doing that, come back, hit like 350, come back, made the playoff roster, everything. Go to Dominican, win a ball player of the year. I played Dominican and Puerto Rico that winter. Next thing you know, I come back, and I'm not launch angling, but I'm starting to hit the ball like as far as I want to hit it and not getting in trouble for it.
Yeah.
First day in camp, because we're going to Australia, first couple of days of camp, we go live BP. No, we play a scrimmage game. First batter, I'm on the B team, playing the Dodgers A team at the time. And first at bat, I go deep. Next at bat, triple. Next at bat, go deep again. Another day go deep again. They call me in the office. I'm like, no, I'm feeling good. Like they call me in the office and go, bro. I was like, what's up? We need you to hit the ball on the ground. What? All right, let me flip this all over his spree. So I flipped it his spree, made the team, made the all-star team. So what do you want me to do? I made the all-star team doing what they told me to do. So but when I got to Miami, I started like the field is bigger.
Yeah.
So I could hit the ball as far as I want and it low-key wasn't going out. That's why I had all those triples. If you look at my spray chart, there are a lot of triples and doubles way farther than home run distance just because I played in Miami. It say I got 20 homers. I should have like 40 of them if you go look at the spray chart.
I'll tell you what,
nobody
a team that could use you probably more than anybody right now is Miami.
Yes.
100%.
We're being honest. Like that infield.
I love to play anywhere, man. I had a great time there, but I'm ready to go. And you know me, Taylor. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna play.
But like, Dee loves the game. Dee's passionate about the game.
Oh my god,
you're a guy.
It was so fun.
Yeah, he's a guy that it's like, I don't want to say it's abnormal. I do think that like one of the things that surprised me when I got to pro ball and the big leagues especially, not necessarily pro ball, in the minor leagues you don't see it as much. Guys don't necessarily love it as much as you would think.
Well, it's stress-filled for a lot of guys, I feel like.
I don't even mean that. Like, just the game. Like, there are people that don't love the game like this.
Yes, because, Taylor, what's the first year you started playing baseball?
2011.
In your whole life?
Oh, no. What is this, 1993?
Okay, you understand what I'm saying? From 1993 to 2023, this has been your whole identity.
Yep.
A lot of guys check out because like things like the situation I had last year, I'm hitting 300 in the big leagues, playing 4 or 5 positions, playing great. I'm playing shortstop. And then all of a sudden, I'm gone.
Yeah.
My wife gets sick. I can't go to the field and I'm released. Like, that's like, guys don't want to keep going through that. That's why they lose their love. But for me, it's just like, man, life happens. It is what it is. I feel like I can get past anything. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I don't take it like, oh, I'm sad or anything. No, bro, like even last year, I wasn't pissed. It was like, yo, I can go get my business off the ground and build a baseball field out here and continue to train and be ready to go.
Yo, let's talk about Indy, bro. This dude. So we're really good friends, obviously, at this point, right? This cat, I show up to we're in St. Paul. We hung out the night before. Like, we went and got dinner. He ordered Raising Cane's for the boys. So we're sitting there eating Raising Cane's. I wake up in the morning. I head to the field. I texted him to get coffee, which look, if you don't know Tavares, don't bother texting him. It's fine. He'll get to you in a week.
Gotcha.
But I get to the field and his locker was gone. Not like he's not there. Like, his locker was packed up and gone. And I'm like, what in the world? And he texts me and he goes, yeah, bro, sorry, I had to head out a day early. My opt-out was tomorrow, but they weren't going to call me up. So I had to take care of a couple business things. So we headed back.
That's awesome.
That happened this year. Too. Like, I was told, like, at the people were going to get dealt. They just get ready to go back. Because, like, we just had a baby. And then, like, I come back to the team. We play Miami. We come home. We wake up. My wife not feeling well. Literally, I was like, yo, not feeling well. 2 minutes later, I get a phone call. Babe, we got to let you go. I'm like, all right, whatever. I got to attend to my week-old son and my wife. So, you know what I'm saying? So then they're like, listen, call us and we'll call you in a week. Call me in a week. They're like, listen, you got caught up in the numbers game, which is fine. That's pro sports. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's fine. They're like, we want you to come back. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't even know went with nobody else, so I will come back. So I end up coming back. And they was like, listen, we're going to have some people get traded. And those people didn't get traded. You see what I'm saying? And that happens. You understand? So I wasn't like on tripping or nothing, but it was just like, oh, dude, I got a 2-week-old baby.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Business. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like,
look. When my son was born. So my son was born August 26th of 2019. I was designated, and now players won't understand this, but like you'll remember this. Up until 2019, was that the first year? No, 2020 was the first year. 2019, you still could call all 40 guys up in September.
yep,
I got optioned and designated in September. Never happens. No reason to option a guy in September, right? It was an absolute zoo. Whatever, it happened. They actually optioned somebody else too, which blows my mind. But so I get designated, and when I got optioned, I had a 7-day-old. I think it was like September 2nd when I got optioned. So I call him, I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna go back home, man. I got a week-old kid. I'm gonna go home. Okay, no problem. Spend your 3 days. Iowa was in the playoffs. So now, come 2020, 20 or 21, 22, now AAA plays into October. That wasn't the case back then.
Yeah.
AAA ended September 1st unless you made the playoffs. So the only reason this even mattered was because I was in the playoffs. So the traveling secretary calls me. He's like, hey, you've got to go. You've got to show up, or we have to put you on the restricted list. And I was like, man, you've already filled my spot. You called somebody up. Can I just stay home with my kid? And he's like, no, like, I really don't think you can. I get on a plane to go to Des Moines. I can't make this up. Like, this kind of still blows my mind. I get on a plane. I fly to Des Moines. I don't get off the plane. I take my phone off airplane mode to a voicemail from the farm director saying that I had been designated and that I could go back home. So I got off the flight and I literally walked off the plane, grabbed my luggage. I called the traveling secretary on the plane. He booked me another flight. I grabbed my luggage, went and got my boarding pass, and get back on and flew home.
Dude.
Like, so, Dee talks about like guys going through stuff. People go through all types of stuff. And it's all glitz and glamour to everybody that watches us. It's all the extension that he got, right? Like, that's all that people, when they see him, when they see Strange-Gordon, when they see that name, all they remember is the batting title and the extension, right? Yeah. They don't know what he went through to get all that. They don't know the ups and downs. And like, obviously for you, like it was a little different, right? Like 2.5 years in the minor leagues. It's not as much as most, but like, I'm sure within that, you still had your trials and tribulations. You still had stuff
but not even the minors. The big part was, shoot, I told you 2012, I wasn't playing good. I break my thumb. I'm asleep. And Taylor, pro sports, you're not supposed to lose your starting job to do the injury.
Yep. That's like the unwritten rule.
Yeah, I'm sleeping in the middle of the night and I happen to just sleep with the TV on watching ESPN, and I hear "Welcome to Hanleywood," and I go, "Huh? We got Handy Ramirez? Yeah, okay, cool, that's dope. Let me see how this go. I'm gonna be a great teammate. Come in, hey D, come in real quick. Yes, sir. I got the cast on mine. Hey, don't worry about Hanley. He's just gonna play third base." That don't even sound right.
One of the,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, prime. I'll tell you this: prime Hanley Ramirez,
insane, dude,
is one of the it is like in my opinion. Now I watch this guy live, so I feel probably differently than some. I would go to argue he's one of the best 5-tool guys, prime Hanley, that's ever played the game. He could do just about because he was playing a really good defense with a cannon and he hit bombs.
If he could just stay here, Hall of Famer.
Wow.
I play with him. He care about like.
How about this? Okay, here are 2 questions for you. So 1, best player you ever played with, but 2, and this is typically I preach this because I believe this, and everybody will tell you the same thing. You would tell me the same thing. What's more important to you? If somebody asked a teammate if you were the best player they ever played with or the best teammate they ever played with?
Best teammate.
No question. So from you, I want best player you ever played with, like just the most talented guy. Doesn't have to be the best physically, but like most talented. And then I want the best teammate. I want your favorite teammate.
Well, the number 1 best player I ever played with was myself.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Don't listen, Taylor. No, I say little funny, crazy little stuff like that all the time. This shit like that all the time. But best player I ever played with. Like, did they have to be great while we were playing together, or like
No. I want to
in
know, like, the guy that when
Ichiro?
you played with him, you were
Ichiro.
like, he look,
Ichiro.
yeah.
And I'm his longest tenured teammate, 5 years. Bro, crazy as shit.
Hey, we have the same agent. We have the same agent.
Yeah. Ichi's the fucking GOAT. That's my dog. Like,
Hey, me and Jack
like
were
a
just
mini
talking
shrine
about
up
him.
there.
How
Yeah, that's my
crazy
guy.
were his BPs?
Awesome. They're like, he hit straight home. But here's the thing. You don't put an exit velo on that. You just be cool that they're homers. That's literally what I do when I hit homers. You may not say 109. It might say 99, 100. But like, if you swinging down on the ball, it's
Look,
gonna.
you play. I know this is gonna sound absolutely insane because you made a bunch of money. You won. You had a couple all-star appearances, but like you played in the wrong era. If you were,
I say that all the time.
If you were 10 years younger or 10 years older, you play for 20 years.
Easily.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like when I went to Seattle, right? People look at my numbers in Seattle. You go look at my numbers in 2018, going into May 20th-ish. I was leading the American League. Hits, average, stolen bases. The American League. My boy, who's like one of my great friends, good friends. Not as tight as me and you, but we cool. Marcus Stroman.
Yeah.
I look at, the guy before, I go look at the picture every night, looking at him, looking at how he's doing. And it's not great at the time. So I'm sitting there doing my little stretch, about to lead off, getting my legs loose, and I always kind of look at the picture to see how he's feeling. Because how he feel is how I feel.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If he feel like I'm the shit, I feel like, no, the fuck you not. It's gonna be 1-0 real fast. If he cool, I kind of got to get myself up for this.
Yeah. Like if he feels right, if you can tell that he feels right, you got to lock it in just a hair more.
Oh, but so that's the thing. That's the third part. If he's locked in, I got him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like if he's locked in, I am the most calm person in the stadium. I need him to be locked in because if he's locked in, he's gonna go, you know what? I don't think he can beat me. Boom, and I beat him.
But I'll tell you this too. Like you're a guy that really understands and you prepare for the games. So if a guy is locked in, if I'm going to, this is something interesting. This is actually an interesting, and you can attest to this probably more than I can. But like when you're going into a game and you prepare, you read the scouting reports, right? Like we see. And Jack, like the reports in the big leagues, I'll show you some at one point. But
I don't read reports. I'm gonna tell you why though. I'm gonna have to tell you why. But go ahead.
But they're unbelievable.
I don't read them.
Right? Like they're incredible. But
yeah,
outside of reports, a lot of guys, I'm sure you were one of them, would go watch video of these pitchers and go watch these guys, and they would say, "Hey, what is this guy doing against similar guys?" I don't need to read the report necessarily, but I want to know the basics, and then I'm going to go watch the video. So if a guy's locked in, typically that means he's going to follow exactly what pattern it is that he follows on most of his starts. When they're not locked in, that's when they do the other stuff that you're not necessarily sure what they're going to do. Now, probably means they're going to leave something over the middle, hopefully. Like that's the goal if they're not locked in. But also means you're kind of on an impasse here when it comes to what is he going to do. When he's locked in, I know when I watch a pitcher and I go, that guy's locked in, I know what he's going to do. That doesn't mean I'm going to get
to his bread and butter pitches.
It just means I know exactly what sequence is about to happen because I've studied enough. He's studied enough to know, hey, this is what he's coming with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for myself, Taylor was playing with me. We used to sit right there in Indy, right there in the little thing right there. And our hitting coach at the time, none. D, you got to be ready for the fastball. And I used to go, none. They're not going to throw me the fastball. Yes, they will, D. No. They're not going to throw me the fastball. I'm going to lead the game off. I'm going to get a fastball away. and then I'm gonna get a changeup, then I'm gonna get a curveball, then I'm gonna get another changeup. He's like, no way, D, they gonna look at you. I said, that's what you would do back in the day. These guys not doing that because they can't beat me with their fastball. They have to try to trick me. How many times I told y'all guys that? I was like, listen, I'll be like, I'm gonna hit a home run right here. And they're like, how you know you're gonna hit a home run? He's gonna throw a slider. I'm gonna hit. D, why are you practicing so much? You remember we used to be in the cage. Why you practice so much on the breaking ball machine? First day, 2-1 curveball. Who gets a 2-1 curveball to the leadoff guy? The lead the game off. Home run. Boom.
You know what's really funny about that too is like I had a guy that was a coach for me. This dude's won over 2,000 games as a minor league manager. Absolutely one of the most accomplished minor league managers of all time.
Hold on. We talking from the Cubs?
Yeah, Buddy Bailey.
Yeah.
So one of the things that he said that I will remember this forever is he talked about when we would do bunting stuff, he would have us bunt off-speed pitches. And it was like, he's like, what's the reason was, he's like, what's harder to bunt, a ball that's straight or a ball that's not? You never, ever work on bunting a curveball, ever. So in a bunting situation, what am I going to throw? An off-speed pitch. D's hitting, it's a bunting situation. I'm going to throw him an off-speed pitch.
They throw me a 0-0 looper, and I absolutely crush it. And I'll be like, thank you, Jesus. Double or triple. I'm like, yep, thank you. Appreciate it. Like, because I've studied. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's first and second, no outs. They're going to throw me a fastball. Next thing you know, I'm 0-2. Missed 2 curveballs right down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, he knows, like, I'm studying that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm taking my chances on it early. And that's just how I play. Like you said, I play baseball just like I play basketball.
So going back to that, I need a comp on the court. Like who do you play like?
Ja Morant with a better shot.
He's a poor man's AI. Let's be honest. Like,
I'm really like Iverson for real.
That's what I'm saying. You're poor man's AI. Like,
I'm really like,
the only reason I say really poor man's is because the only reason I say poor man's is because I'm in the believer that I'm a believer that you could put AI in the top 10. Arguably, he's a point guard on your starting 5, depending where you go. Like, I think AI is one of the best ever. But
yeah,
so that's the only reason I say poor man's.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm with it. That's who I modeled it after.
All right.
Get buckets.
Can you throw it? You can't throw it down like Ja, can you? Okay.
Come on now.
All right. Sorry. Sorry about it. You can clearly throw it down like Ja.
He's the best athlete in his family, Jack. Without question.
You've got some freaks. Hey, how cool is
literally?
Yeah.
Go ahead. How cool is it? I'm with you.
I was just gonna say, like, how cool is it to see Nick doing what he's doing?
He's fucking better. I built that fucking swing, bro.
Hey, bro, that's actually a hilarious conversation. So I remember, like, I was playing with D for like 2 weeks before I even brought Nick up, and we were talking about something, and I just said, like, have you ever hit with Nick? And he looked at me and he goes, are you kidding me? I did that. That was me. He's basically me.
I made him better than me. I gave y'all the version of me you wanted.
It's like D 2.0.
I literally was like, oh, they're pissed off at me for hitting the ball on the ground. Hey, bro, you better not fucking do that. Legitimately, bro, like, don't be me. Be better than me. Because they're not liking it right now. They're doing this thing called StatCast, and it's not going to work out for me.
But hey, but once again, like, that's just another area where, like, you know, I think that if you talk to Nick and you talk to Tavares and you find out their relationship and how that all worked, like, most guys in your spot wouldn't have given that much time to him, would have focused on yourself more, and you didn't, and that goes back to you and your characteristics and your heart, and that's one of the reasons that we became such close friends, was because, bro, I could care less about the baseball, right? Like, you're a great baseball player, and that's sick. But like, I don't care. You got a good heart, and you have good intentions, and I just think your brother's another example of that, right? Like, as far as the baseball stuff goes, like, it's cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to see, and I'm sure it's even cooler for you to be proud and be like, man, like, I had something to do with that. That's
But
sick.
you got some shit to do. You got to get like, listen, I need him to hit 20 home runs. Now, I don't care about the pressure. And at least bat. I'm going to be okay if he hit 20. Give me 265.
Hey,
Cool.
so here's
That's not bad.
here's the bigger question. You're a better basketball player. Is he a better rapper?
If I put my heart into it, Taylor, we both know I'm the best. I'm gonna be fire at it.
You got
know
the
what I'm
bars,
saying?
bro.
So-
You're writing it. You're writing his stuff.
It. Don't tell him I told y'all. No, it's just. No, it's just.
Jack,
But
did
I
you know that he
stay
was a rapper?
far
Did you know
away
that Nick
from
was a
the-
rapper?
I did not know
Yeah,
that Nick
Nick
was
is
a
a
You
rapper.
didn't know that?
Yeah.
No.
Nick
Okay, so
needs to be a baseball player. Okay, that's what I told Taylor. I think that's how the conversation started. Like, hey, bro, you listen to
no,
your
the
brother's
conversation
music? And I was
start.
like,
No, the
he needs to
conversation
be a baseball player.
the conversation started because I was I went to the rookie development camp in Miami with Nick. I didn't go
Yep.
with Nick, but I went with the Cubs and Nick was there. And
Right.
I don't remember how this happened, but like it just kept getting brought up that Nick was rapping and he had just released something. But then when I saw D, I was like, hey bro, like, you gonna get signed by a record label? What do we got? And he was just it was funny, but
I was like, that fool better hit a baseball. My thing is, here, Jack, Taylor, y'all listen. This is me thinking. If you play baseball good, they pay you, then you can fund your own rap career or do whatever you want to do.
and not ask your brother.
Right?
It's the Lillard thing, right? I mean, that Aaron Gordon track was awful, but it got out because he had NBA money to push it out.
He had the money to push it out. That's like what me and Taylor's mom doing with this. We're gonna push it out because
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I will.
like, you know what I'm
You
saying?
know what? I'm gonna give a little feedback, a little throwback on that. Is that, you know, he's repping that Black Sheep Farm stuff. I would happily be wearing a Black Sheep Farm shirt right now. No questions asked. Would I be wearing a Black Sheep Farm shirt every single podcast? I'd be wearing a Black Sheep Farms hat, just so you know too. But hey,
I got nothing. I apologize, and I will do
This
better
just
as
goes
a
back.
friend.
But you know what?
And a
You know
brother.
what? This is why I love D, because this just goes back to like the fact that I texted him and he wouldn't text me back for a week. Like, it has nothing to do with his intentions. He just totally forgets. It's fine. It's fine.
Bro, ask your mom. I talk to his mom
know,
every day. Every day. And bro, my brain, y'all gotta understand, I'm building up, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of it for this podcast. I'm building something that's gonna be so crazy. That's been in my brain since before I met him. You see what I'm saying? So it's crazy. I met him in 2021. We're just now putting it on paper this week.
Becoming a reality.
Type of deal. Yeah. So much stuff is oozing out of my head right now. It's like I can sleep finally. You know? Like since I came home, bro. Like I got home in August 15th. Me and his mom's in North Carolina. I'm buying a freight farm. This cool little situation I got going on.
Funny thing about the freight farm, I don't even know if my mom's told you this. So we had a guest earlier on the show, Dylan Cease. So Dylan Cease, I may end up connecting you two, but you know who Dylan Cease is, right?
Yeah.
So he
for the White Sox.
Yeah. So when he was on the podcast, he was telling us that like he has some farming stuff. He wants to farm, not for others. He wants to farm for himself. He wants to have like a little farm and he grow all types of stuff. And honestly, he lives in Atlanta. So I was like, dude, there's not a ton of land there. What better than a freight farm? And so I said to him, I've texted my mom since, and I've sent him information. He has called Freight Farm on behalf of Dee Strange-Gordon and Julia Davis. But it's a funny connection here that Jack didn't even know about.
Dude, that's hilarious. I mean, that's so.
Hey man,
cool,
people
though.
helping people.
It's people helping people. And it's also like, you know, the average baseball fan looks at it as like, oh, Dylan Cease, like he just does baseball. And that's that. Oh, Dee Gordon, like he just does baseball. That's his life. There's so much more there. And if I picked anything up over the last hour, it's like you guys share, and I knew this about Taylor, but you guys share this like beautiful sense of perspective that probably makes your enjoyment of baseball a bit higher. And my last thing that I want to ask you is like, I got to ask about the homer, because this is a moment that's gonna live forever in baseball.
Forever. It's without question. I mean, honestly, I couldn't give you moments, maybe like Roger Maris. It's a top 5 moment in MLB history. Like, you know, and I've never told D that, like, D, that was such a moment outside of you, and you know that. But like that is a moment that for sure, you know, go to the Sandlot, dude. Like, you know, you're, you know, legends live forever,
literally,
bro.
I practice that a million times. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it goes back to, first of all, it was God, number one. First and foremost, it was God. But number two, it's like goes back to our earlier conversation. I had a situation where I knew what I needed to do. I knew what the situation was. So it's like, it's weird. Like I told you, I'm a point guard playing this. And that situation called for that. You see what I'm saying? And before the game started, you think about it, I started right-handed. I already knew the situation was going to kind of come down to me at some point.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, and instead of just playing Dee Gordon's game, I played
Jose Fernandez game. You played Jose Fernandez game. Because you know what? He was there for the big moment. And that was you in the moment.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, come outside yourself right here. In the big leagues, bro, we play 162 games in 180 days. You have to continue to stay. What makes me so much better and so good is I stay the same 0 for 4, 4 for 4. Take the same BP, take the same approach to the game. I don't care who's pitching. But and usually Taylor knows the game. If you come outside of yourself, it usually doesn't work.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't work out. So that's why I say number one, that was God, because I came outside of my game to lead the game off with a home run. Yes, I've led games off with home runs before, but it was intent behind me doing it. You see what I'm saying? And dang, that's crazy. And that just made me think of another story. Wow. All right. Anyway.
Come on. So drop it. Let's go.
Well, it's just like the batting title day. The day I won the batting title. We come in, Dan Jennings goes, son, Bryce Harper got you by 0.1%. You gotta have a big day tomorrow.
Which, by the way, just to let you know, we're gonna have to have you back on again solely to have an episode about Dan Jennings.
I'm with it. Anyway, he goes, son, you gotta go today. So okay, I said, all right, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead. If I lead off, I literally take a big swing if I swing at the first pitch. Let off, double off the wall. Boom. Because I'm going for it. I'm not trying to hit the single and steal second. I got the bags. I'm literally trying to do only damage. Right? Next pitch. All right, I just hit his cutter. He gonna try to get me off.
Who are you facing?
I have no clue no more.
Come on.
Because it got like 3 people in my head. It had like 3. I want to say Zach Eichhoff.
Who were Jared Eichhoff?
Yeah, but Jared Eichhoff.
Were you playing the Phillies?
Jared Eichhoff. Yeah,
hey, he was in Indy last year. That's one of my buddies. I'm gonna ask him. That's
he good dude. I believe it was him though. It could have been him. It might have been something. I don't know. Like they had. Was it Pavetta? No, I think Pavetta was.
They had Eflin
I don't know. Anyway,
Eflin too.
Might have been Eflin. That like I kind of got him and Eflin kind of together because they big writing come over the top. So I kind of got them together. So I'm not sure. So next day, I'm like, all right, you gotta get change up. He gonna try to get me off his fastball and throw a change up. Next pitch, first pitch, home run. Like, yo, I could have done this all year, but I might not have hit 330. I might have hit 290. Yeah. Like, you see what I'm saying? So coming out of me is gonna drop. It has to drop. And that's what happens with even a launch angle. Like if you got a guy who's a good hitter with a good swing at 290, 275 with 12 to 15 and 60 RBIs, and then you make him start launch angling, and now he can get the 20 home run. Well, something got to drop.
Yeah, no
You see
doubt.
what I'm saying?
No doubt. And they don't take that into account. Like a guy that I always point to, and this is like a random drop, but like Dan Vogelbach with the Cubs put together in AAA, he put together unbelievable at-bats. He wasn't, you played with him in Seattle. He wasn't like,
I'm gonna add in.
People don't give him enough credit for how good of a hitter he is. Like he can really hit.
Pure hitter.
But I'm sure the Cubs and Seattle both told him, hey, we want you to walk less. Because he walked, and that's what he did. He got on base, and understandably, he doesn't run great. I don't run great. I get it. But he doesn't run great. So they were like, hey, we don't necessarily want you to walk. We want you to hit. The issue isn't in that you asked him not to walk. The issue is that he's got to completely change the way he goes about his at-bats. Because now he's not putting together quality at-bats. He's hunting one pitch, which is why the year that he hit 30, he only hit 200. He's not a 200 hitter. He is a 280 hitter if you let him hit like he does.
300 hitter, and he'll hit 20 homers.
Right.
But
totally.
You got to they took away, when I played with him, they told him don't hit the ball to the shortstop. He does that almost as good as me.
As anybody.
He can throw a ball in the left center field gap better than anybody I've ever seen. But if you tell him to take that away, well, of course he's going to swing and miss now.
Yep.
He's only trying to hit it one way. That you're totally right. And with the team that we were on together, he was getting sent up and down because he would be getting base hits.
And they didn't want that. They didn't want singles.
No.
And that is like another area where like he's another guy. If he plays in the 80s or the 90s, he's one of the best players.
Man, I love it. Hey, D, this was awesome, man. We got to have you back on.
Y'all let me know. Let's do a part 2. We're doing part 2, y'all, for sure. I'm in.
I'm in. Have a good weekend, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, fellas. All right.